Hi students, today I am going to explain elements, compounds and mixtures lesson in chemistry. So in our environment there are many things we can see. In our day-to-day life we can see many substances, things, trees, chairs, books, clothes, etc. So all these made up of materials. So all these are made up of materials, and these materials, different materials, are made up of different substances. So we will learn about the substances. So the substances which may be classified into pure or impure substances. The substances is divided into pure and impure substance. We will know first what is a pure substance. Pure substance means is one that does not have any other substance mixed with it. So a pure substance will not have any other substance mixed in it. If we say oxygen gas, only oxygen will be there, any other gas will not be mixed. Water means without any other substance dissolved in it, so and so on. So pure substances, again they are classified into elements and compounds. So first we will see what is a element. Element means again a substance that contains only one kind of atom is called element. So element is a pure substance. Again we cannot split it into simpler substances. For example, all the atoms of an element are identical and will have the properties of that element. So if we take one element, so all the atoms of this will be having same properties. For example, if we take iron, all the atoms will be iron only and have same properties, same like gold, calcium, zinc, silicon, hydrogen, chlorine, sulfur, phosphorus. These are all the examples of elements. So what are elements? It contain only one kind of atom. So how many elements are there? So far we know 118 elements. Of this, 92 are present in nature and remaining 26 are man-made or human-made. How the elements are classified? Again, elements are classified into metals, non-metals, metalloids and inert gases. So let's see first what are metals. Out of about 90 of 118 elements. We know that 118 elements we know now. So of this only about 90 elements are metals. Some examples of metals are iron, copper, gold, silver, zinc, sodium, potassium, like this. So what are the properties of the metals? So the properties are how we know it is a metal. So by seeing that only we can know that it is a metal, because it has the property of lustrous, means it is shining. So when we see the metal, it will be shining, it will be lustrous, and they are normally solids except mercury, which is in liquid, and they are sonorous, means they will produce some sound, a ringing sound when it is touched or struck. So when we just throw it down, it will make some sound. So they are sonorous and they are malleable, means we can make it into sheets, and they are ductile, we can make it into wires, and also these are good conductors of heat and electricity, and these are having high melting and boiling points. So these are all the properties of metals. Then let's revise again. Metals, when we see the metal, first we have to see it is shining, it will make sound, and if we touch it, it will be hot if we make it hot, and current also will pass in this. So they are good conductors of electricity, and we can make it into sheets and we can make it into wires. So these are all the properties of metals, and it will have a high melting and boiling points. So if we go into the kitchen, we will see so many vessels are made up of metals only. Because why we will use in kitchen? Because they will conduct heat, so we can boil, we can cook in these metals, metallic vessels. Then what are non-metals? So the name itself indicates they do not resemble metals, they are opposite to metals. About 12 non-metals we know. So non-metals may be in solids, liquids and gases, whereas the metals, they will be mostly in solids, only exception. But here it will occur in all the three states, solids, liquids and gases. They gave some examples for solid state: carbon, sulfur and phosphorus. In the case of liquids, bromine. In the case of gases, oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine. So Opposite to that of metals, they will not be in lustrous, means they will not shine. They will be always dull and brittle. Brittle means easily breakable. Except diamond. Diamond and graphite are the elements of carbon. These are the exception. They will be very bright. You know diamond, how it will be. Yes, no, shining. And non-metals are non-sonorous. It will not make sound when it is fell down or when it is touched. And we cannot make sheets or wires, and they are very bad conductors of heat and electricity, except graphite. And they will have low melting and boiling points. See. Next, what are metalloids? So these are in between metals and non-metals. So they resemble both metals and also non-metals in their properties. For example, boron, silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony and tellurium. All these are metalloids. They will have a lustrous appearance, but they are brittle. And they cannot be made into sheets or pipes like metals. Like metals, we cannot be make into sheets or pipes. Means they are not malleable or ductile. So silicon and germanium are widely used in the semiconductor industries. What are semiconductors? They which allow the current, only little current is passed in this. Conductors means which allow the current to pass through it, and semiconductors means which allow only little current to pass through it. What are insulators? They will not allow the current to pass through it. So next, the lead in your pencil is not made of metal lead. If you see the pencil lead, we will think it is made up of metal lead. No, it is made up of graphite. So silicon, it is the most abundant and useful metalloid. It is a form of sand. It is used in the electronic industry for making computers, mobile phones and so on. So these are the metalloids. Now last is noble gases. Helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. These are called inert gases, or they are also called noble gases because they will not react with other elements. They will not react with other elements. Then we can see some questions here. What is the meaning of sonorous? Sonorous means which make a ringing sound when struck. How do non-metals differ from metals in terms of states of matter? States of matter, I told already, metals are usually solids at room temperature, except mercury, which is liquid, and non-metals, it may be solids, liquids or gases. Then give 3 examples of metalloids. So what are the examples of metalloids? Boron, silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony and tellurium. These are metalloids. We can write any 3. Name the inert gases. Here they give helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. All these are inert gases. So next, representing symbols. Representing elements. So how to represent elements? We can represent elements in the form of symbols. Imagine spelling of the full name of an element each time you write. Whenever you write, if we want to write an element with the full form, it will be time consuming and it will take space also. To avoid this, we represent it in a symbol. So a symbol stands for one atom of an element. So one atom of the element is represented by a symbol. The first letter of the name is generally chosen. So whatever is that, first letter is chosen and it is capitalized to represent. So the names of many elements with same letter. If so many elements are starting with the same letter, what we have to do? So like example, calcium and cobalt, both will start with C. And neon and nickel, both will start with N. And this, what we'll do? We will take the symbol of 2 letters, first and second letters of the name. Second letter should not be in capital, only first letter should be in capital. And we may also use the combination of first letter and say some other letter also. So we can see symbols of elements 1. In this, the first letter is capitalized and wrote. In this, aluminium, argon, calcium, cobalt, neon, nickel, tellurium, titanium. In this, see, they wrote first 2 letters in this: A, L, A, R, C, A, C, O, N, E, N, I, T, E, T, I. So next, in this, they took combination of first letter and some other letter, which is important. Arsenic. So A, S, A, T, C, L, C, R, M, G, M, N, Z, N, Zr, like this. Next, some elements in this they take from another language. They take the names of other language and they will give symbol. For silver in other language it is called argentinum, so Ag. Gold aurum, Au. Copper cuprum, Cu. Iron ferrum, Fe. Potassium calcium, K. Sodium natrium, Na. Lead plumbum, Tb. Tungsten wolfram, W. Like this we give the symbols of the first 20 elements here they gave. So what are the first 20 elements? You should remember and learn this: hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon, potassium and calcium. The pink color are metals. What are the metals? Let's see. So lithium, beryllium, sodium, magnesium, aluminum, potassium, calcium. All these are metals. Then non-metals are, see here, light green. What are non-metals? Hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, oxygen, sulfur, fluorine, chlorine, etc. And metalloids are boron, silicon and dark green. Noble gases they gave in blue color: helium, neon, argon. Like this they gave in. So then formulae. So how to rate a formulae? As you have learnt, one or more atoms forms a molecules. So what are molecules? One or more atoms combine to form molecules. The number of atoms in a molecule is called atomicity. So atomicity means how much molecules are there in a how many atoms are there in a molecules. They can be said as monoatomic, diatomic and triatomic or polyatomic. So what are monoatomic? Contain only one atom are called monoatomic. Inert gases, for example. Diatomic contain two atoms of the elements combined to form a molecule. For example, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen and chlorine. Oxygen represented by O2, hydrogen H2, nitrogen N2, chlorine Cl2, like this. Triatomic, three atoms combined to form a molecule. For example, ozone O3. Polyatomic, so many atoms combined to form a molecule. It is called polyatomic, like phosphorus P4, sulfur S8, like this. We will see this table. So what are monoatomic? Iron, gold, mercury, sodium. So next, non-metals which are diatomic. Let's see: hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, C, chlorine. Next, then arsenic, As, tellurium, Te, helium monoatomic, neon monoatomic, argon monoatomic. So sulfur is polyatomic, Se8, phosphorus is P4 polyatomic. So like this they gave the table. A compound is a substance. It is made up of two or more elements that are chemically combined in fixed amounts. So the molecule in a compound are identical and have exactly the same properties. So the molecules will have same properties. Compounds consist of diatomic, triatomic or polyatomic molecules. We will see so many materials in our day life. So they gave in the table. So here they gave substances like water. Water is, it will have elements like hydrogen and oxygen, H2O, we know water. Common salt, sodium chloride, and it have elements like sodium and chlorine. Sand, silicon and oxygen, SiO2. Eggshell contain calcium, carbon, oxygen. Rust, iron, iron hydroxide, iron, oxygen, hydrogen. Sugar, glucose like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, C6H6O2. Sorry, polyester, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Let's see here. So what are the characteristics of a compound? A compound is made up of more than one element. In a compound, more than one element will be there. So water, it have hydrogen and oxygen. So a compound is made of molecules of only one kind. So pure water have only water molecules. It will not have other molecules. The molecules of a compound are made up of atoms of two or more different elements. The molecules of a compounds are made up of atoms of two or more different elements in which they are combined in fixed proportion. For example, carbon dioxide, if we take CO2, its formula is CO2. We can see here CO2. So one atom of carbon and two atoms of oxygen are combined together. So it is a triatomic molecule. So they will be combined in a fixed proportion. The elements that form a compound cannot be separated easily. We cannot split the elements in a compound easily. We cannot split water into hydrogen and oxygen. Though we boil it, filter it, we cannot split it. Only by passing current, electricity, we can split it. The properties of a compound are different from that of combining elements. So if we see water, it is a liquid, whereas hydrogen and oxygen, they are gases, and carbon dioxide is a colorless gas, whereas carbon is a black solid and oxygen, it is a colorless gas. So if we see water, it have different properties compared to the elements which it is made up of. Like hydrogen and oxygen will have different properties compared to the compounds properties.